Okay guys, so today we are doing our writing class. Luckily I'm here by myself, so I'm going to take my mask off just so it's easier for you to see my face and understand what I'm saying, I hope. And what I will do is I'll show you all the things you need to learn about writing the next story writing on the board. Then I'll also give you some examples that you can look at on your paper, and then I'll give you some other instructions that you can read about as well. It should be quite easy. Remember, we've done opinion writing before. We did it for story writing 3, and we've also done it for story writing 4. So if you've forgotten some of the things, I suggest you can go back and look at some of the old ones that we did in your book, and it should be quite easy for you to understand how to do it. Okay. So remember, the one that we write in this week is what we call an opinion sentence, or an opinion paragraph, or an opinion story. And an opinion is where you give your idea or your feeling about something. It doesn't have to be something that is that other people agree with. It might be something that only you think, or it might be something that only you feel, but that is what we call an opinion. The important thing is that no matter what you feel about something, you always have to make sure that you are saying why you have that feeling. Why do you have that opinion? So when you are writing today, remember, think carefully about the thing that you are talking about and carefully explain why it is that you like that place. Okay, now for our opinion today, we're going to be talking about a slightly different topic. The first opinion one that you did was you talked about a person. Yeah? Last time we did a writing assignment, you wrote one about a place. Many of you wrote about places that you like Tom Dragon or the library or your bedroom or your home. Yeah? Now today's one is quite similar, but what you're going to be writing about today is about a famous tourist place, a famous place that you have visited, that other people might have visited as well. So I've given you some examples over here. See, these are some of the ones that you can think about, but you don't have to use them. You can think about your own ideas or your own examples, okay? But basically you're going to think about a place that you have visited before, and you're going to tell a little bit about what your opinion of that place is, okay? Now remember, to write an opinion about a place that people have visited, you have to have been there yourself. Don't try to write an opinion paragraph about Japan if you've never visited there before. It will be kind of tricky for you to do. Okay? So the first thing you have to do is think carefully about an interesting place that you have visited. For example, you might write about my favorite place in Taiwan, in Kending, down at the beach. Some of you might have been to Alishan, gone to look at the mountains and the beautiful tall trees there. Some of you might have visited Taipei or Taipei 101 or Ida in Kaohsiung. Yeah? Some of you might have been to Japan or America or another country. Or it could be something simple, like a famous hotel that you have visited, or a famous shop, or a famous restaurant. There's no answer that is right or wrong, as long as you can tell me about the place that you visited and give me your opinion about it. What did you think when you were there? Did you really like it? Did you really not like it? What was something good about it? Perhaps something that you didn't enjoy. Okay? Now, just like the other examples that we've done before, the first thing that you need to do is before you write any kind of story, it's good to have a plan first. Always think carefully what you're going to write before you write it, and then it's much easier when it's time to write the story. Okay? So this one is exactly like the ones before. If you've forgotten, remember to open up your books and go back and check story writing 3, story writing 4. They all follow the same pattern. So this one should be really easy for you. Okay? So just like the other ones, we've got 3 places at the top, and for each one, you're going to think about what did you do or what did you see and add a detail to it. Okay? So I'm going to choose a nice simple one for today. I'm going to choose Taipei 101. Yeah, every time my family or friends have visited me in Taiwan from another country, that is usually one of the places that they like to see, especially when it was the tallest building in the world. It's got really beautiful places to visit, places to shop at. You can go up to the top, and of course, it's one of the most famous landmarks in Taiwan. Okay, so for me, I'm going to decide to write about Taipei 101. Okay? Now, after you've chosen the place, the first part of your story is going to be a little bit about telling the person who's reading it, what is it like? You can describe it a little bit. So, of course, it's a huge building. Remember, always try and think of nice different kinds of adjectives that you might use. Okay? For me, I think it's very, very pretty. Okay? And, of course, it is something that you might associate as being really, really tall. Okay, so think of your place and things to describe it. That's going to be the first part over there. Okay? After you've done that, then you have to think about something interesting that you saw or did while you were there. Okay? So for me, one of the most interesting things about it was going in the elevator. The elevator's super, super fast. And it's got little lights that shine. It looks like you're in the middle of the night, and it goes up to the top before you know it. It's really, really quick. Okay? So for me, I'm going to do the elevator, and I'm going to describe it as being super fast. And I remember the nice shiny stars and the cool music that was playing when you went up. Okay? Remember, when you're giving your opinion, just things that you think were interesting. Some people might not think the elevator is interesting at all, but if that's what you think is interesting, you can write it. Okay? And for me, of course, you guys know that I love to go to the coffee shops and the restaurants. So for me, definitely, if you go into Taipei 101, there are lots of delicious places where you can go eat in. Yeah? So for me, the restaurants, and which ones? Well, of course, there are delicious coffee shops all over Taipei. Okay? And one of my favorite Thai restaurants is in Taipei 101 too. A Thai restaurant is a restaurant that sells Thai food which comes from Thailand. It's really, really spicy, but whoa, it's delicious. Okay, so once you've got your brainstorm, you're all set to start writing. Okay? But before you put a single pen onto paper, as we say, or use your pencil, please remember these important things over here. Okay? And later on, when you look at the photo of the board, you can go back and double check that you've done these things too. Okay? When you write your title, capital letters, try and add at least 2 or more details at the bottom here. Use some good adjectives. Of course, write neatly. You knew I would remind you about that. Use the past tense because you've already been to that place. Okay? Of course, check your work to make sure that you didn't make any careless mistakes. Try to write the whole page. You know, I always remind you to write as much as you can. Okay? So if possible, try and get all the way to the end of it. You've got lots of time. You can think about it a little bit. Okay? And of course, as I always hope that you guys do every day, try your best. Okay? All right. So I think to make your title, let's do something really simple. So for this one, you just can name the place that you are talking about. So for me, my title can simply be Taipei 101. If you'd like to add an adjective to the front of it, or if you want to make a more creative title, no problem, but something simple could be the name of the place that you visited. Okay. Now, your next step is remember that this part over here, you can imagine as being the 3 parts of the story. Okay? So this part over here will take up the first part, over here will take the second part, and over here we'll take the third part. Okay, now I'm not going to spend too long writing the whole thing. You of course have your old examples that you can look at, and I'll show you some other ideas that you can use later, but I'll definitely show you the first one. Okay, so I've given some words to get you started. I have gone to, so for me, I will say I have gone to Taipei 101. And I haven't been there just once, I've gone there a lot of times with my friends, so I'll say I've been there many times. Now, once you've got your introduction sentence, then you can start adding in your details. So mine are huge, pretty, and tall. So I'm going to make sentences about the Taipei 101 building using my details. So I can say, it is a really huge building. Okay? And I'm going to put an exclamation mark because it's a strong feeling. Yeah? Got really huge. Okay? Maybe you can add some information too. It used to be the tallest in the world. Maybe some of you would be able to tell us in the comments when you write us sometime. You can tell me what the tallest one in the world is right now, see if you know. Okay? So it used to be the tallest in the world. Okay? It is really pretty. And to make my sentences a little bit longer, I can say, and many people visit it each day. That's always a busy place, especially on the weekends. Okay? I think it's great. Okay? So this first part there was just a little bit of an explanation to explain kind of what it is. Okay? It's a tall building, a little bit about what it looks like and how many people go to visit there each time. Now, you're going to start adding in your opinion. Remember, this is an opinion paragraph. So here, you're going to start telling me a little bit about the things that you think are interesting about the place that you visited. Okay? So there are two examples here. I'm going to do the one example for you. I'm going to leave out the bottom one to see if you can have a bit of a challenge to do it yourself. Okay? So here I've said the elevator. So I saw maybe I can think of a cool adjective, an amazing elevator. Yes, I didn't only see it, I actually went to it, yeah? I can use my my details. It plays soft music and stars shine on the roof. If any of you guys have been there, maybe you remember they have the little lights, they all go dim, they play some gentle music and you can see the lights all around you. And they've got a little light that shows you how high you are as you go up the building. It looks almost like a thermometer going higher and higher and higher. Okay, and then of course I've used that they've got the shiny stars and now I need to describe it as fast. It is, let's use another explanation sentence, we've been practicing those. It is super fast, not just fast, super fast, and you get to the top soon. Yeah? And maybe I can give an opinion about what it's like once you're at the top. Yeah? So maybe I'll say something like, then you can see amazing views over Taipei. Now I actually used the word amazing for a good reason. Because I know that I've used it already over here. And I remind you that when you're writing, you don't want to use the same adjectives all the time. It doesn't make your writing very interesting. So when you go back and read it, think, oh, I've already used the word amazing. Try and think of a word that might be better suited. So of course, you've got your eraser with you. You can cross out the word amazing, and I can see another word like amazing, maybe a word like incredible. No? See, incredible views over Taipei. Okay. And then you're going to add in your last part, okay? For the restaurants, maybe say something like, Taipei 101 also has amazing restaurants. It's got delicious coffee and the best Thai food in the country. but watch out, it's super spicy. Yeah? I love to eat my lunch when I visit Taipei 101 at the Thai restaurant. And at the end, remember to make your writing really, really good. Don't forget to add in your conclusion, okay? Which is kind of like closing, and you want it to match the top of your sentence, okay? So you can say something like in your last sentence, I think Taipei 101 is an amazing place. You should visit it too someday. Okay, so remember, once you've written it, go back, double check to see if there are any things that you still want to add, anything that you might need to check for your spelling or for your grammar mistakes. And of course, if there are things that you don't know or things that you need help with, when we come back, we can also do it. Okay? What we'll do is, for this week, you can try to start it, and then next time we have a writing class next week, I'll try and give you a little bit of time in our schedule to just finish it up if you haven't quite done it yet. Okay? But my big suggestion for you is to double check the pages that we've written before. Read your old opinion paragraphs about the people and the other places that you like. It will really help you with your writing for this time too. And of course, try your very best. We've been practicing a lot of opinion writing, and it's going to be the one that they'll definitely be using in your final test as well. Okay, remember to check the other videos that are linked here. They'll also give you some advice, and also read carefully what I write above the video. It'll also give you some hints and things to remember. Okay, all right guys, remember, try your best. Enjoy writing. Writing is a fun thing, but like all things, if you want to be good at it, you need to practice as hard as you can. Okay.